Welcome to the world of Telos Zois in the soon-to-be-known Lost Continent. But at this point in time, it is still very well known, and the city you are all in is known as Icor, the city of gods, where many, many Celestials have started kingdoms, have been born and died. And at this point in time, all of you just so happen to wander into a tavern. On this, the eve of the Day of Sun, which marks the beginning of the solar solstice and the end of the... Give me a second to find what it's called. And the end of the Ave Noir, which is the season following the winter solstice, where the 3 moons of Telos Zois are visible every day. The tavern around all of you is very lively. A lot of them are currently setting up some basically string up lights that have the insignia of some gods who are in nearby churches. Others are simply drinking and lounging around, eating some of the food that this place has to offer. And as all of you enter, I'm not sure when each of you would have liked to enter first, but you all do at some point, and I would like you all to describe each other. Or, well, describe yourselves to each other. Let's just... We can go down the line. Let's start with Batel.
Oh, alright. Oh, hello? Oh, there we go. Alright.
Hello.
As he enters the room, Beetle... Come on.
That's how you pronounce that. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's based off the constellation that Beetlejuice was named after. But he is a tall, slender, sort of dark blue skinned elf. He has this flowing long white hair and very noticeable sort of markings on his face. They range from the sort of not really... It's kind of hard to tell if it's either tattoos or face paint, but there's markings and freckles that look like stars blinking.
Alright. And what does Gothrolder look like?
Garthrolder walks in kind of.
I got the pronunciation right?
You did.
Hell yeah.
Garthrolder, as he walks in, he stands about 4'6". He doesn't. He's a very odd creature, as he's literally a moth person, humanoid. Walking in with his quarterstaff, using it almost as if a cane, kind of giving off the distinction as him being old and frail, but clearly he's not exactly old, but he wears a greenish tinted robe as he walks in, hiding his leather armor. but the leather armor definitely is a little bulky, showing off through the cloak a bit. He definitely has an interesting, distinct look to him. His wings, as he's very similar to that of a death head moth. If you guys know what they look like,
I love moths so much.
and his mane of fur surrounding his insectoid head. But he walks in slowly and just kind of takes a look around as the festivities or the people inside the inn are celebrating whatever.
And what does Janos look like?
Janos is a tall, stands just above 6 feet tall, but is very thin, looks almost malnourished. He has long, kind of dirty blonde hair and oddly silvered eyes. He's wearing leather armor that looks like it's seen some wear, moving in it in a way that shows that, you know, he's used to it and such. And he has a large backpack on his back and has a satchel at his side that contains a large tome that he sort of clutches at possessively. He also looks like he's kind of unkempt and unshaven. His hair's a little shaggy, and it looks like he probably hasn't slept very well in quite some time. But he's also a human. His skin is sort of reddish, burnt from the sun, as he had spent more time outside recently than he had ever had in quite some time.
Very, very relatable. And what does Riker look like? Or rather, what does your character look like?
7 foot green dragonborn with patches of rotting flesh scattered around. But besides that, he looked like a normal dragonborn.
Alright.
For the record, if you guys want, you can do accents for your characters. But it is up to you. I will not be doing very many accents for the NPCs, purely because I cannot.
That's alright.
So, yeah. But yeah, all of you kind of just in time gather around in the bar. And at this moment in time, all of you hear a voice stand out through the crowd as someone in almost elegant yet battle-hardened armor with a large broadsword on their back stands up onto one of the tables. Hello, everyone. If there is anyone here who would be willing to join the fight, please raise your hand now.
I will raise my hand.
Guthrolder looks at the raised hand and
Or if
Someone
anyone
looks-
has any questions, of course. I know not all of you are native to Icor.
Janos will sit up a little straighter and look at this man. What fight do you speak of?
The fight for freedom. My god wishes to protect. God of the Sun. One whom we are celebrating, or will be soon. They wish to give us more power. And unfortunately, the other gods aren't very happy about that. So, we are going to war. Myself and the rest of my gods' allies are gathering troops here in the material plane. We will be waging the war here, and they will be waging the war up there.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
When do we leave?
Quite eager. Of course, everyone will have to go through training first, but depending on how many people volunteer, maybe a week's time until we go to base.
This war for freedom. How long would we be signing ourselves to it?
Unfortunately, this war is less than official. Depending on how many gods oppose our sun, it may take upwards of a few years. But at this moment in time, we are simply preparing.
Guthroller will put up one of his hands. So, you're saying you have no idea how long this war will take?
Well, I don't. I'm unfortunately not the god of time. But
Fair.
it will take time, and a lot of it. Not all of your duties will be that of soldiers. Some of it will be rallying other cities, other kingdoms, to support us. The more material plane backing we have, the sooner the gods will see that our sun is in the right.
Out of character, from what Janos knows, and I can make a roll for this, how out of the ordinary is this sort of thing?
Define this sort of thing.
Well, that like a celestial being will come and gather recruits. Is this a common thing, or is there usually like some sort of pageantry and declaration of war beforehand? How out of the odd is this?
Actually, as you are saying that, feel free to give me a history check, but also give me a perception check.
That'll be in the D&D rolling channel.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure I have my stats up. So history and perception.
Yeah.
I don't think the roll worked.
Let's try it again. There we go. So that one is for history.
Okay. 18, not bad.
And not very perceptive today.
Anyone else who would like can also... Actually, everyone else please give me your passive perceptions.
Passive perception for Guth Roller is a 15.
Please type it in chat, by the way. Simply because I have very bad memory.
Which chat do you want it in?
The Lost Continent, please.
Alright. Oh my god.
Seven is your passive?
Right? That's what I was like, what?
You're clearly the wisest of us all.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you have a negative to wisdom.
Yep, I got a negative.
That's unfortunate. Well, honestly, I think the DC isn't very high for this perception. They are, after all, standing up on the table. But the person who is gathering troops, they do not have that normal air of celestial energy that a divine being would have. They radiate an amount of infernal power, as when all of you look at them, you can't see their face, but you can see horns exuding from their head and a skull-like mask covering their face. And actually, I have a photo of them. And in regards to the history check, whether or not celestial bodies send any soldiers or heralds to garner support from the material plane, they don't do it very often, but recently there have been stirrings of a war. So there haven't been any celestial beings or non-material plane beings that have come to gather soldiers yet. This is the first one of those, but there have been rumors of escalations.
Question, if I wanted to know, like, what the standing is of, like, our sun god, like what he's really all about, would I make a religion or history check?
Ooh, depends on your character. I think Beetle would make it for some reason the way you spelled it makes me want to say Batel.
Right.
I think Beetle. Honestly, you would be able to choose.
I'll probably go with religion.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh wait, that's a different thing. Ah, where's rolls? I've lost it.
Gone. Reduced to atoms.
Yup. There it is. Alright. Cool.
No.
Ah.
Oh no, what'd you roll?
6.
Man, this dice spot does not really like you guys.
Nope.
I have not
It's
yet
jealous that I normally do physical.
Yeah, that tracks. You can't exactly remember. There are many gods of light, gods of the sun. So they haven't actually mentioned which one they are serving by name, which is slightly odd because even with that low roll, gods of the sun tend to be very gaudy and upright.
Right.
So the fact that they are just referring to the god by our sun is slightly odd.
Then that's immediately sending off alarm bells, and Beetle's going to ask, by any chance, which god of the sun are we talking about?
I'm now remembering that I don't remember their names, so give me a second. I know I made it up beforehand, because one of my players' backstories ties into that god in another campaign. God, my memory is so bad. I'm literally scrolling through previous chats and I can't find it. You know what? I'm just gonna make a new name. Continuity out the window, gone.
That player that it ties into the backstory of, just gonna bring up the random name.
Well, this is like thousands of years in the past, so this is what the god was named back now.
That's very
Exactly.
true. That works. Thank you for giving me an
yeah.
excuse.
Yeah,
This is the god's dead
actually do
name.
gods undergo a lot of name changes over history.
No,
so-
yeah, that is true canonically speaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Random name generator. You know what? I'm just gonna go with a classic. Helio.
All right.
All right. And thus, an old god's name has taken its case.
However, Helio is, as I said before, backed by many other gods, including the god of light, Sel, the god of knowledge. Many gods agree with Helio's position.
This feels so iffy to me.
Immediately, this is like this.
Feel free to give me an insight check if you guys want.
Yeah, I'll insight this with my +2 insight.
I have 0 to insight, so it's
Oh,
better
wow.
than mine.
You know what? You can still just roll. I mean, there's no harm in rolling,
Yeah.
even if you have a 0.
Screw it.
It's better than getting an actual 0. I was once a player in a campaign and I had a -1 to my charisma, and I rolled a nat 1 -1.
Oh my god, we got the same thing!
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
What is wrong with this dice bot?
Straight up
I
can.
don't think it
Yeah.
likes you for some reason. I don't know. This
Nope.
Like,
this dice
I
bot
don't
has
know.
never been mean to anyone before.
I don't know if like last session you guys had like you just rolled insanely well or
No,
something.
we
But
rolled perfectly fine last session. Well, no, okay, I'm scrolling up and I'm seeing people rolling in the 20s, and so maybe it's comeuppance. um, regardless, they seem to be genuine. Or rather, they believe what they are saying.
all right, gotcha. I don't
Again-
know why. I just get like Warhammer Crusade vibes from this.
Again, if anyone would like to volunteer, please meet me outside the tavern. This was just to kind of get the word out. And they begin to step down and walk outside.
I will walk outside.
Would any of you like to follow?
Janos is going to finish his drink and sit there and look back kind of paranoid-like and sit there and sort of swear under his breath and get up and walk out.
Yeah,
Guthrolder's gonna watch these people who have either decided to or aren't curious of this person, and just watch them walk out, just rubbing the underside of his hairless face.
yeah. Actually, Gothrolder, you do see some people around look rather confused. Predominantly because it doesn't seem like they recognize this messenger. Most of the time, gods will have one specific messenger that they send to enact their will or gather followers, etc. This one is new, so everyone's slightly confused, but you see a few people who are all wearing insignias of a burning sun on their clothes, or whether it be a tattoo. Some stand up and walk outside.
Beetle's going to he's gonna walk outside more out of curiosity than actual faith in this.
Guthrolder's gonna kind of probably question a few of the patrons to see if they know anything.
Yeah. Is there any particular kind of patron that you would be looking for?
I mean, despite the ones that are confused, he'd definitely go to the ones that have, clear signs of, worshipping a sun god.
Yeah. If you would like, you can stop one of the people who have the insignia on them before they get outside.
Pardon me. Do you
Yes?
know of this sun god that they speak of? It's quite interesting to know that
Of
this
course I
seems
know
to
of-
be a very new.
Of course I know of Helio. Do you not?
I come from a land far, far from here. I'm not entirely well known for knowledge of this land's gods.
Well, welcome to Icor, first of all. Helio is one of our city's patron gods. They are a god of power, light, and humanity.
I see.
They are ever
Interesting.
gracious. Which is why me and my friends, and you see this person that you are talking to, appears to be some kind of Gith or Githyanki. They gesture towards their friends, one of which is an orc who bears the sun god's crest on their breastplate, and this gif has it tattooed onto their shoulder. Is there
I
anything
see.
else?
No, that is all, I think.
No problem. And the two of them walk outside.
I think Guthroder will follow suit, following these two, or following the group of people
Yeah.
that are now starting to head out with them.
So, just double checking, is there anyone who isn't going outside?
Oh,
No? Alright,
it doesn't seem like it.
alright. As everyone steps out, you can all see that it should be daytime, even though it is the Evanoir. The sun should be out. The three moons are still entirely visible. But currently, the sun seems to be eclipsed by one of them. So it sets an almost... Oh, Gothrolder disappeared.
I apologize, my Discord crashed.
No worries, it happens to me.
You didn't like that I popped out the activity.
Guess not. Okay. So, yeah, it's... This eclipse sets a shadow over everything outside. And the city itself seems lively, but it's almost too crowded. Like it's the day before the Solvane, which is the Day of Sun. But this seems like something else happened. Something else has gathered people through the city, or at least outside of their homes, as upon stepping out, this masked figure glances up at the eclipsed sun and speaks under their breath. God damn you, Zur. Alright. And they turn to those of you who have followed them out. Outside of you four, there are, of course, the Githyanki and the Orc. There are also a couple others that you can't exactly make out their race, purely because they are in very heavy garb or armor that blocks you from seeing any of their features. Hello, everyone. I'm happy so many of you wanted to come with me. No. Is everyone ready to set off for training?
I would hope so.
I will say for myself that my skills would be wasted on the front lines of training. I can speak from experience. But I have many talents outside of the basics of martial abilities.
We are looking for help of any kind, whether it be arcane, martial, or celestial.
Looks up, careful not to look into the eclipse, but kind of in the direction. It seems that your call comes during a time of dark omens. This has portents for the future, I think.
I have a feeling one of the elders is just not very happy. Well, if all of you are ready, please gather around me. And as they say so, they take their sword off their back and they carve a large circle into the ground around themselves, large enough to fit those of you who are coming with.
I'll make an Arcana check here
Yeah.
to see
Go for it.
the markings that he's putting down.
Yeah, Janos will watch intently and also see if he can't identify what's going on here.
Yeah. Make me an Arcana check.
Oh my god. 14 and 23.
Jesus Christ. Love to see you guys actually rolling good.
The dice god has finally decided to play fair.
Yeah.
Don't tempt it.
They seem to be tracing out the runes for a teleportation circle. Although it is slightly altered. It seems like a mix of a teleportation circle and a binding spell.
Oh.
Gerthrulder is going to be a little hesitant here at this combination.
I'm going to walk into the circle.
Congratulations, you've been drafted.
Janos is going to look up at the stranger after observing the markings. What is the purpose to the alterations you have made to the teleportation spell?
Well, it's just to make sure no pesky gods can banish you.
I don't understand why a god would want to banish us. We're just simple travelers.
Prevent you from joining the fight. Why else?
Yet this is a binding spell.
Exactly.
Mostly to... Look at the other person who was clearly, discontent with the change of the teleportation circle. What do you think?
Sounds like it might be part of the recruitment process, but this is magic that is outside of my normal realm. However, he looks back up at the sky towards the eclipse. This is something I can't ignore. He steps over the line.
Very well. This, I suppose, does go against the natural order. Having no sun is not good for plants or animals in this case. Very well. Garthralder will also step over the line.
Alright. What about Janos?
Yeah, he earlier he said that he couldn't ignore this, and he stepped over the line.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
sorry. Memory, very bad. As I said before.
And relate.
So, everyone around except one person steps into the circle. The one person who doesn't step in almost has an air of frost around them. They seem oddly cold, even though, despite the eclipse, it is rather warm in this shadow. Like you can feel the sun, how it should be beating down on you. But just glancing at this person, it's almost uncomfortable as a chill goes down your spine. They have ears that are seemingly elven, and their face is very pale. Their hair, despite most other elves you've all seen around having traditionally long hair, this elf has very short hair, almost in a buzz. And on their hands, well, on their forearms are gauntlets that have a layer of frost covering them. And it takes a moment, but they too step on. Well, let's get going then. And you hear them snap. And in a moment, the world around you changes. It's almost as if time outside of the circle moves faster than all of you within it, as the sun is suddenly out and bright, and you are all in an almost similar city square. The architecture still looks similar to Icor, but possibly one of the neighboring cities. Welcome to camp, everyone.
Question: since I have lunar sorcery, would I notice any different from like the juxtaposition of the eclipse to the burning sun?
Ooh, okay. 1 second. It doesn't seem necessarily different. It is still the Avenoir, as all 3 of the moons are still very high in the sky. But they seem to be in a shadow now, whereas the sun is very bright in the sky.
Gotcha.
And for the record, the moons are full.
All right.
Well, is there anyone who would like to join the archers or the ranged training regiment? You see a couple people gathered on, and this masked figure gestures towards the right, where there's a large cabin with an arrow as its insignia. Any of you who have magic, please go to the left. And they gesture towards a cabin with a large solar insignia. However, it is almost cut in half.
Guthrolder will start heading over in that direction then.
Yeah, so will Janos.
And, of course, those who would like to participate in hand-to-hand or martial combat, right down here. And they gesture towards another cabin with a blade on it. Oh.
Walk towards that cabin.
But first, if you four, and they gesture towards the four of you, please come with me for a moment. And they start walking off further into camp.
I will follow.
Yeah, Janos pauses. Yeah, they pointed to the four PCs, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right. Pause and then nod to himself a bit and then follow along.
You see this figure is walking off into what appears to be some kind of forest that surrounds this encampment. Or rather makeshift city, as it were. Because it looks very professional. As I said before, it is like the city of Icor, but most of it looks rather piecemealed. So you can assume the city square existed as a permanent encampment, but everything else, given the situation, has been rather hastily put together. And they step into the forest. And as they walk further down, a light almost starts to emanate from them as you see them go into an almost grove-like area of the forest. Would all of you like to follow?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty. All of you follow, and eventually you see this figure take off their blade once more and stab it into the ground. At this point, all of you are much closer to this person, so even though they are masked, you can see their red-tinged skin underneath it. And the mask ends right above their bottom lip and kind of follows that bone line of their face up. And at the corner of those lips is an extended scar with stitching over it. I could tell all of you seem to be new here, or rather, around here.
Yeah.
Thank you for so willingly volunteering for being new. My name is Tel. Tel Sev. And what are all of your names?
My name is Janos Emestrova. Says his last name slightly hesitantly.
Don't worry,
Guthrolder.
I am no Fane. I hold no power with your name.
Guthrolder Vismorthy. Gives off a small bow.
Also, Janos, could you give me an insight check?
Sure.
As everyone else continues to introduce themselves.
Oh man,
God.
I'm great at reading people.
Right back to it.
The dice god has been pissed off yet again.
Yeah. If you guys want, if you have physical dice, you can use physical dice.
That way you can lie about the rolls.
Well, I would prefer if you didn't lie about the rolls.
This is also why I was like, I want to use the Google roll thing
Yeah.
because it's good. So.
Oh yeah, if you guys want, you can use like other alternative dice rolling systems. Just,
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
please do
share
not
my
lie.
screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen here.
And Janos, if you would like, you can re-roll that on a different dice rolling system. Because this one does not seem to like any of you.
Yeah, no kidding. Hold on a second.
Okay. Don't mind me drinking an apple juice.
Apple juice.
I'm gonna grab my dice, and hopefully they actually like me. In the last game I was in, though, they were not running hot, so maybe I'll be
Oof.
lucky this time. Give me a second.
Hopefully they'll be nice.
In the name of dice gods, please allow us to roll well.
No.
All
Get
right.
smited.
Let's see if that's an 18, like total.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 16 plus 2 is an 18.
Nice. Okay.
This dice doesn't get microwaved.
Not the microwave.
So, from what you can tell when Tell laughed, saying they are not a fae, the laugh almost had a hint of anger. Well, it is nice to meet all of you. I will be your commanding officer while you are here. If there are any questions about this city, this continent that you have, feel free to ask me.
Will we be getting paid?
Currently, no. However, depending on how the
Okay.
war effort goes, there may be some compensation.
Better than nothing. Yeah.
How long do you expect it to take before those here are involved in this war effort?
Currently, we are still trying to prevent the war. So, many of you will not see battle for a while, but you will be involved. And what I mean by that is they raise their arm and take off their gauntlet. And you see that same solar insignia on their arm, but in this situation it's not a tattoo, it's a scar. And they hold it out. Feel free to touch it.
No, thank you. I have my own scars.
That's fair.
I don't know what kind of role this would be, but
I have a question about the larger politics of this war. Um,
Yes.
you say that it is of freedom. I was just curious, what exactly, and I don't know if you'd know this, we're mortals in this affair, but do you by any chance know what exactly the other side's reasoning was of disapproving of this freedom?
To attain this freedom, we may have to go against the elders, which not everyone is very fond of, given they created us. But their rule is not entirely perfect. And they say, gesturing towards the scar on their face.
Ah, so this is more of a sort of celestial revolution than crusade of sorts.
I'd say it's both. Of course, not only celestials are involved. There are the infernal gods. Most of them, oddly, they like the old gods. It's quite strange. But yes, it goes beyond just us celestials.
When do we start?
When would you like to start?
Well, I am interested in seeing where this is going, so as soon as possible.
Alright.
As soon
And
as possible.
they begin putting their gauntlet back on, and as they do so, you all see the insignia glow a little bit as it is covered once more. And they grab their sword out of the ground and put it once more back in its sheath on their back. I have a question for you all.
Ask.
Feel free to ask.
If you had to choose between yourself and those around you, what would you choose?
That is a very interesting question.
I'm a very interesting general.
Not me.
Gothralder's gonna wait to answer. Let others answer as in turn.
Unless I'm given a good reason myself. Because I feel as if I am to give my life for others, those others need to be worthy of it, outside of simply existing.
Understandable.
There's no way I'm choosing myself.
Alright.
I don't even know me.
Few of us do.
I suppose.
If there is, Ooh,
Go ahead.
continue.
Feel like I don't know me.
Go ahead.
In
Go
the
ahead.
slightest.
Please follow me. And they begin walking back into camp.
Also, do any of you know what year it is?
Are you suffering from amnesia or something?
You could call it that.
Interesting. Interesting.
What's your last memory?
Like, counting today. Oh,
The first thing you remember.
uh, waking back up.
So darkness, and then you awoke from something.
Yep,
Odd.
that sums it up.
Interesting.
Yep.
I would say very peculiar. And you volunteered to this, despite not knowing who you are, where you're from, or anything about your past. Hmm.
What selflessness.
Something to do. Besides sitting in a tavern.
Interesting.
Well, I hope you are able to find yourself. Till then, let's get you on some food. And they walk back into camp and gesture towards a large eating hall.
Hooray, the mess hall.
Of course, I know you all were in the tavern prior to this, so if you are not hungry, feel free to just walk around, talk to people, meet your fellow recruit, and go have a look in the library. Training begins
Screw all
tomorrow.
that, I'm going to get food.
Training begins tomorrow.
Very well.
Library, you said.
Yes.
Whereabouts?
Just to the left of the mess hall.
Well, I think I'm going to find my nourishment in knowledge. Nods to you all and heads off towards the library, speaking his language.
Don't die.
Ah yes, first session, I send a book mimic at you.
Thankfully, I'm never unarmed because of Eldritch Blast.
That is very true.
Ah,
Would
Yeah,
anyone
Guthrilder
else... Sorry, continue.
Guthrilder would look at the general and. Do you perhaps have honey?
I suppose?
It's I do have a different, very interesting diet. I must admit.
I can
can't eat
tell.
solid
You
foods.
are rather not really humanoid.
True.
Just don't get squashed.
Well, I am 4'9". I'm not exactly the smallest of the bunch.
I know, but still.
Your sword.
Thank you.
Everyone is short compared to me.
Yes, that tends to be the truth.
Now I'm going to eat. And I will walk towards the food.
Alright. I'm also going to head over to the mess hall as well.
Right. Would anyone else like to go to the library?
I'll go. I'm going to the mess hall too.
Okay. So, if it's okay, because there probably isn't going to be much to do in the mess hall, I'm going to do the mess hall stuff first, and then we can do library after, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright.
Alrighty. The three of you walk into the mess hall. There aren't as many recruits in here as you would think there would be, given the size of this encampment. But those who are there vary widely in race. You see a lot of Asimar, but besides that, everyone seems to be from everywhere. And there
Alright.
is a long line of chefs at one end who are currently making food for everyone.
Food.
First,
Food. Glorious food.
first thing that I'm gonna do is Beetle probably wouldn't be hungry at this point. He's going to sit down and pull out the arcane focus, his arcane focus, which is a crystal ball or a staff with a crystal ball at the end, and he's considering what he's gotten himself into. He's going to see if he can tell any of these soldiers around him's fortune through the crystal ball.
What kind of role would that be?
I would guess Arcana, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Make me an Arcana check.
All right. Oh my god, even my physical, what the fuck?
What's your spellcasting
That's an
mod?
11. I got 6 plus 5.
Okay.
Spellcasting mod
Yeah.
plus 6.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, if you guys are casters, I usually let people make their blah, 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 make Arcana checks using their spellcasting mod, just for clarification.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you were like a charisma caster, you could use charisma. Also, if you have like a bonus to your spellcasting ability modifier that isn't your ability score, you can add that. But yeah.
Alrighty.
So
So
what did you
mine
get
is a
again?
12 with the spellcasting mod.
That is sad. Your dice do not like you.
Nope.
No, the dice gods of this not being kind today.
Yeah.
Someone has pissed off the dice god.
Some of the people around you, you can't exactly tell much. But a general feeling you get all around you is loss. Though that is to be expected given they are soon to be soldiers.
Right.
One person, however, the elven person who exuded an aura of frost, They are sitting at the far end of this rather large mess hall, but even from where you are, glancing up at them, you can't read anything off them. For everyone, or at least most everyone here, you can at least get some kind of vibe, but them, it's just nothing.
Interesting. Hold on, let me check if that's actually one of my spells or if it's a lunar thing. Let's see. Okay, that is one. Out of pure curiosity, I am. Oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to take the risky route or just the simple one? Screw it.
Don't
I'm just
risk it.
I'm
It
just gonna
might be a
walk up.
mimic.
I'm just going to walk over to the elf and say, pardon me, I hate to intrude, but you seem to have a different aura compared to the other soldiers here.
Thank you? Is that meant to be a compliment?
Not exactly an insult, but
They glance up at you, and at this point you can see their eyes. They aren't just a glaring blue, but the texture of them is almost frozen, ice-like.
this may be an awkward question to ask, but I don't believe I've seen an elf quite like you. Would you, by any chance, know what specific type of elf you are?
I'm not from around here. I'm from the Northern Frost. Different continent. Made a trip over here for diplomatic reasons. Give me an insight check.
All right. Let me see. Actually, I'm gonna go real quick and get a different set of dice.
Smart,
Because
honestly
I am
smart.
rolling decent.
Yeah.
I'm rolling metal dice this time.
A middle dice.
All right. Got the box. Okay. Okay, that's better. Let me check what my insight is real quick. Come on. Okay, it's straight 16.
Straight 16. If you would like, you can attempt to use some kind of magic. If you have anything.
I know. What kind of?
Excuse me, I'm
What,
choking on apple juice.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no.
I'm good.
God, I do not have anything really to help with the suggestion or anything.
Okay. They
I think I'll just have to go for the 16.
Yeah. They seem genuine. You aren't exactly sure exactly where the Northern Frost is, but there are many different kinds of elf around here. And generally speaking, depending on where they live, elves often take on characteristics of where they are. So, wherever this elf is from, they obviously lived somewhere cold, very cold. but given that they said they are here for diplomatic reasons, the fact that they are here
No sense of
volunteering is a little bit odd.
Right. Vita will ask, if you're here for diplomacy, why would you sign up for such an effort?
Maybe I'm bored.
I,
Of course you are. You're a diplomat.
is it okay if I do another insight check on that? Because that
Yeah.
does not sound real.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright. That's a 17.
Alright. Their voice when they said fun. It almost wavered a little bit. Something's off. You can't exactly tell what, but something is off. Now, is there anything else you need? Or can I go back to eating my food?
Alright, gang, I got a question for you. Should I use detect thoughts or not?
Go for it.
Do it.
Ooh.
I mean, if you want to, you can, but just remember that detect thoughts, if you fail, or if they
Yeah, that's...
succeed, they know.
Do it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Does anyone know what happens if you ask detect thoughts at a higher level?
It's here. Let me actually look at it real quick.
I don't know if anything does happen.
I don't
Yeah,
think
because
so.
I checked and I
look
was wondering, like, maybe it'll help if I do it at a higher level,
You
but I
know-
don't think so.
I'll let you. I won't exactly tell you what it does, but you can.
They give you drugs.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say at higher levels it does anything else.
So yeah,
Which is
Right.
I will say, no matter what spell, if you cast it at a higher level, you're putting more magic into it, so something's gonna happen. But you may not
I'm
know what that thing is.
You get drugs for free.
No, you
I
gotta
don't
pay for that.
trust this I don't trust this elf, but I feel like I want them more as an ally than an enemy right now.
Let's do it, you coward.
Screw it, yeah, fuck it. I'm detect thoughts.
Peer pressure.
Alright.
Yep, peer pressure.
We did
If
it.
it doesn't work out, I'll apologize. I overstepped.
so the target
And
must
I'm
make wisdom saving.
and I am
throw.
casting that at a level 3, so it is a higher level with whatever that
Actually,
effect.
they don't have to make a wisdom saving throw now.
Oh my god.
Unless you want to probe deeper.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you want to probe deeper, they have to make a wisdom.
Currently,
But you initially get the surface thoughts of what they're doing, of what they're.
Alright,
currently
what's surface thoughts?
what their surface thoughts are. It's almost like they're moving too fast for you to understand. It's like they're extremely scatterbrained. What you can make out is kind of, as they look up at you, their eyes twitch a little bit, and they ask themselves in their head, who does this person think they are? What are they doing? Are they done bothering me? I need to get to work. Jesus. And at that moment, that is all you can make out from the blur of thoughts. Would you like to probe deeper?
Do it.
I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away from them for now, just because I don't want to seem too suspicious.
You can concentrate on this,
Yeah, you can concentrate
So-
trade on it,
yeah. You can come back
Ye-
later.
and it is if you keep them within 30 feet of you is also the
Yeah.
thing. That is the range of detect thoughts.
Gotcha.
You can rather easily grab food while staying within 30 feet.
Right. Yeah. I'll probably do that, and then that's really all I wanted to do for now.
Is there anything else Beetle would like to do? Anything Beetle would like to do, right? Guthrolder.
Not right now.
Okay.
And
What about Guthrolder?
Guthrolder, he's gonna talk with the chefs to see if they have any like honey or something like sweet water or anything like that he can drink.
Ah, you would like some honey?
Yes, please.
All right. Let me go look around.
It's too damn high.
The person you talk to is they're a rather short dwarven person, but they are on very tall stilts. Simply so they can see over the counter. And they kind of waddle around on these stilts. And almost at some point they just start like hopping. And they turn back around and come over to you with a large jug in hand, which looks like some kind of very syrupy substance. And they just slam it down on the table. Well, on the tray in front of you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for volunteering.
Of course. And Guthrolder just takes it and, his proboscis sticks in and he starts to enjoy his syrup or honey.
And is there anything Riker would like to do?
I would like to go up to the chefs and say, I want all the food. All of it.
No. Just no.
Give all the food.
Uh-oh.
No. We have to have enough food for all of the recruits.
Rations are a thing for a reason.
We must ration our food.
They can hunt their own food. They can.
So can you.
Yes, but then there won't be any food out there.
You're not gonna get any food.
Well,
Give me the food.
No.
Do it.
No.
You've been denied food.
No.
Give me the food or I'll kill you.
Oh.
Good luck with that.
Give food.
I will give you some food. You will not be getting all of the food.
How about most of the food?
How about none of the food?
How about you write out your will?
You best not threaten the person who's feeding you.
Oh, I could do a 10 times better job than you.
Good luck with that. Next customer.
Okay, I'm going to stab him.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Chef squares up.
And they're gone. No, I do not like people like that in my campaign.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, they seemed off. Respectfully.
I mean, I understand the amnesia thing, but like immediately starting to square up with the NPCs.
It's a bit iffy.
Yeah,
That's the road to murder hobo.
Yeah, that's why I was so quick to say no.
yeah. If not already there, they seemed like they were gonna get into.
They
that,
seemed like
that
they were gonna
position.
get there. I
Murder
I
global campaigns can be
fully
hilarious, but
yeah, I
it has to be the
fully
right campaign.
I fully instantly
Right.
just kicked them.
A murder hobo can be fun if everyone is in agreement of the tone of it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is not a murder hobo campaign.
Right, yeah. This definitely is not.
Well, moving on. The guard fully just decapitates them. Moving on.
Yeah. Fantastic. You know,
Oh,
the god,
yeah.
the sun god smites them. Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Yes, anywho. You guys are able to eat your food rather plentifully. It's a bit surprising how good the food is. Like, it's honestly startling, because this place should be rationing. But the food is actually incredibly tasty. So... Bro, they literally just said K. I said I do not like murder hobos in my campaign, for the record, and they just said K.
Yikes.
This would not have gone well.
Yeah, that's definitely the sign of someone who wants to murder hobo.
Jesus. Okay, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they said... Okay, quick rundown. Their character was... They were from a bandit group who left a while ago, died on the battlefield, and came back. Didn't have any memories. So, like, was going to be a plot line that they might meet them again. I didn't think they would immediately fall back into the bandit thing when they don't have any memory.
Yeah, that's a little sus there.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, you guys are able to eat very well. It's very tasty. Before I move back to the library, would you like to head back over and talk to the elf again? Or would you like to leave that for another day?
I'll leave that for another day.
All right. For the record, when you cast a spell for every higher level you cast it, its DC increases by 1 if it has a saving throw DC, and the length it lasts doubles.
Alright. That is very good to know.
That's only for non-scaling That's only for non-scaling spells, of course.
Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, most spells should scale.
And not warlocks either, because all of my spells are cast at the maximum level, because I only get 2 slots.
Do you even have any spells that don't scale?
Yeah, a lot of my spells don't scale.
Oh, what? What spells don't scale?
Hold on.
I'm still just so
Hex,
surprised
I
that they
don't
fully
think
just
scales.
said K. What? Sorry, say that again.
I don't think hex scales.
Hex doesn't scale?
No,
I
Hex
don't
doesn't scale.
Think
How
so,
doesn't
no.
Hex scale? No, it does. It does.
Oh wait, no, it does. Yeah, it's duration scales. That's
Yeah.
what changes. I think.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
it increases to 8 hours when you cast it third or fourth, and
you know
24
what?
hours when fifth or higher.
Oh, Hunger of Hadar doesn't scale,
Why doesn't
unfortunately,
Hunger of Hadar scale?
because they hate the Lovecraftian vibe.
I love the Lovecraftian vibe. That scales
No,
now.
they really do in D&D though. They hate like going full Eldritch
I don't know why they
with the
hate that.
Warlock.
Yeah, no, well, because a lot of people think that Warlock is overpowered as fuck, so they believe
How?
those people. They believe
The only the only reason they think that Warlock is overpowered as fuck is because like they have like 2 or 3 good subclasses, and even then
Yeah.
they're not overpowered.
I mean, Hexblade.
Hexblade.
Yeah.
Again,
Hexblade.
Hexblade is one of the two.
Yeah.
That's really good, but
Well, it's also in games that, if you're short resting, you have very short rests
Yeah.
for 10 minutes, you're
It
doing it every 10
could-
seconds, like
it-
they get
yeah.
essentially infinite magic at that point,
It
right?
really depends on the
Yeah.
campaign, and depends on if they're multi-classing. I love me a good Warlock Sorcerer multi-class.
yes, the Sorlocks.
I do not allow coffee locks, but I love Sorlocks purely for the lore. But yeah, in that case, we will be moving on to the library. So, Janos, you walk into the library, and it's incredibly large. It's much larger on the inside than it is on the outside, so you're slightly surprised and taken aback once you walk in. But it's a very nice library. There are shelves and shelves of scrolls and books. There are some sorting mechanisms, like you see on one side there's a full row, not even row, there's a full bookshelf dedicated to history of the sun god Helio. And there's other sections like the history of the divine, the creation. There's also more political and just general subjects like the study of arcanomancy, how to fight 101.
I'm sure they have an extremely esoteric system that most
Okay.
librarians end up having.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
oh, go ahead if you weren't done.
No, I was gonna ask what you wanted to look for.
Well, the first thing that Janos does, and this is something that he has done ever since he was a child, is he is going to walk around the library and see if there's any section that is walled off, guarded, warded, anything like that, because that's where the really fun books are.
Give me an investigation check.
Really fun books.
Listen, he has a history.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That is 12 on the dice. That's 20.
Jesus. Yep. It's not too hard. I'm now realizing all three of you that are left are all casters. Well, technically, Riker was a caster too. They were just a paladin, so partially.
Hey,
Predominantly
don't
caster.
bash a druid, man. Their ability to turn into a bear.
No,
is
that
a
is
bonus
very
action,
true. That is very true. Moon druids are.
especially a moon druid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Who
will
needs
be
a
your
barb
tank.
when you have a bear?
Well,
I will
sometimes
be
you can
your
be both.
Tank. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you look around, and it takes a little while because there isn't a section that's walled off. But when you look around, there's this one area where two bookshelves seem to be slammed against each other.
Now, are these empty bookshelves that are slammed against each other? Or is it the books are facing each other with it?
Basically, so these bookshelves are double-sided, that are all around the room, So one side is one set of books, the other side is another set of books, and the wall is basically just a very large bookshelf. So there's this one area where there are rows of bookshelves that are just shoved against the wall. So there's the wall bookshelves that are covered, and there's the back section of those bookshelves that are covered.
Okay, so
If that makes
clearly,
sense.
yeah, a bunch of books that they're still in the room, they're just like walled off, right?
Yeah. Basically hidden
I'm-
in plain sight.
Yeah. Before I go find anybody, I'm going to look around the area to see if there's any sort of like marking or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a system of identification. Like, let's say this area is labeled B72 or whatever, and then I could go to an index and find out what that means. Basically, just to see if this area is marked or if they're like completely hidden off.
Well, the row of books that are visible on the outside that aren't covered, they seem to be just kind of like everyday fantasy novels, which is odd in a fantasy world, but I guess you could call them akin to historical fiction.
Yes, the joys of living a modern life instead
Yeah.
of a adventurous life.
Yeah, their fantasy novels have like no magic, no gods, no monsters. It's just, and they're thinking, oh man, that life would be so great because you don't have to worry about the end of the world every 10 minutes.
Yeah. That section is labeled. I'm gonna roll this. What's the 14th letter of the alphabet? A B C D E F G H I J K L M N. N. This is labeled N. N10. But-
The Nintendo section.
The backside, or rather what should have been the backside of these shelves, you can assume it would have been labeled N11, but it is, the plaque is basically ripped off of that part of the bookshelf.
All right. So, I am going to find or try to find some sort of, I guess, librarian or archivist.
Yeah, there would have been, around the entrance, there would have been a few people you could have looked around and talked to.
Excuse me.
Breathing Claritin clear.
I am curious about a section of your library.
Yes. And this particular person, they are tabaxi in nature, but one of their limbs is, you can assume it had been amputated, and in its place is roots that have grown out of the socket and taken the form of an arm.
Okay, I'm glad that you ended up in the form of an arm because I was just imagining like this spray of freaky roots
No.
until you said that.
Yeah, I'm not that crazy.
Yes. The area, I believe, is marked off as N11.
N11, give me a moment. I have to look through the system. And as they say the system, they pull out a massive book. There's no technology here. It's very hard. And they kind of just grab a bunch of pages and flip through, trying to find the end section. And on the page that would be N11, there is nothing. It goes straight from N10 to N12. I'm afraid we don't have an N11 in here. Could be a bookkeeping issue.
Perhaps.
We have been trying to transfer all of our information to this one book for a while, because it used to be in a lot of smaller books. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what's in that section. I'm sure if you look at the books, you'd be able to tell what the section is for.
Well, it seems to be that one of the bookshelves was, I suppose, mistakenly pressed up against it.
Oh, that's odd. Would you like me to come move it, or?
Oh, absolutely. I would do it myself, but all of those books, I'd most likely injure myself and destroy your property, which I'd rather not do.
Yeah. I would also much prefer that. Thank you for coming to get me. I did not know about this. And this tabaxi quickly, I wouldn't say runs, but I also wouldn't say walks. They're kind of just like speed walking.
And so we'll follow a little bit like, oh no, why are you moving so fast?
Ah, y- um, give me a wisdom saving throw. Janos?
Yep, hold on, I just have to pull up my sheet.
Okay.
And then find wisdom. Alright, wisdom is +5. That's a 13.
You see the bookshelf that had been one layer out from the wall has now seemingly receded back into it. And there is no trace of the 2 layers of shelf that would have been an 11.
Yanis is gonna look at it, walk over, try to like dig at the sides and look, and he goes, no, this was out just a few moments ago.
Some people move.
He turns
Some
wild-eyed to the Tabaxi. You believe me, right?
I believe you. Some people move around the shelves quite often. These are, she gestures towards the bottom of some of the bookshelves, and they seem to be on a railing system. People move them around a lot. They probably just moved the shelf that you're looking for, and haven't put it back yet. Or, well, they might have put it to the right spot, because that probably shouldn't have been there.
Yes. Yes. Calms down a little bit, but looks really suspicious. Very well. Very well.
Sorry, I couldn't help. I will be back at the register, if that's okay.
Of course. Of course.
Alright,
He's gonna wait till the Tabaxi leaves.
see ya. And
And then he's gonna frantically
walk
like look around the area and paw at it and be like, "Ugh."
yeah, give me a perception check. Or investigation, up to you.
Investigation's much better than perception.
Okay.
21.
Jesus Christ.
+8.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long, but when you start looking around, you see some scrapes on the floor. Almost as if something was moved off its track. And in the wall, what you can see, the books that had been one layer out from the ones that you could easily read that were on B10, those books are now... Yeah?
Pardon me. I ordered some food. I'm gonna go grab.
Oh
that
yeah,
real quick.
that's fine. The books that were on B10 are now in the walls bookshelf. And looking in, it's almost as if the bookshelf goes further back than it should.
Can I move books around, like pile them out to sort of make, I don't know, a kind of way that I could reach in, or is there like a back
Oh yeah,
that
you
stops me?
you can definitely do so.
Yeah, so
But
Yanis is gonna start like placing the books down, making sure that he remembers what order it is,
yeah,
and is gonna like look into the area and see if he can't get a hold of a tome.
give me a D100 roll.
Oh god. Oh man, I don't have my D100 anymore. I'll have to go with the 2D10s.
I have returned.
Heyo.
That's a 47.
Alrighty, give me a moment. Ooh, I'm glad you got this one. You pull this book out, and as you touch it, it's almost slick. And when it's fully out and in your hand, lifting your fingers from the tome, it's almost as if there's now a layer of blood where you made contact with the book.
Yanis is going to close his eyes, count to 10, open them again, make sure he's not having visions.
The blood on the book is gone, but some remains on your fingers.
Give me a second. I'm going to see if... I was about to say I was about to do something, and then I'm checking my character sheet to see if I have anything on me to actually do.
Honestly, I'm a very, very much rule of cool DM. If there's something you want to do, ask me, and I will say if that's possible.
Oh, it's just something simple. I was going to, like, grab the equivalent of a handkerchief and put the blood in there and fold it up so that I could, I don't know, analyze it later of some kind once I learn
you can
detect
easily
magic,
do
which
that.
I haven't for some reason.
You can easily do that, yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to look over the book. Is there any sort of markings on it, titles, anything like that?
There's some carvings in its binding that... What languages do you speak?
I speak. Once I find where it is, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Common, Elvish, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Alright. Written in an odd mix of Infernal and some other language. You can make out the word Aima, which, given what is on your hand, you can assume means blood. The second word in its title, you aren't quite sure what it is.
Like I said, that's where you find the interesting things. Well, I'm going to set this book aside because clearly fate has decreed that I need to see what this is and study it. And I put the other books back. And I'm going to not set that book aside. I'm going to kind of clutch it to myself. And then I'm going to spend some time at this point. I'll ask the Tabaxi if I can use their system to go through it. But I want to find any sort of books that covered an eclipse on the day of the sun, because that sounds kind of important to me.
For the record,
my character.
For the record, it was the day before the day of the sun.
Oh, sorry, an eclipse on the eve of the day of the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for the record, just so all of us know, the day of the sun is called the Solvane. So it'd basically be Solvane Eve. um, and yeah, give me an investigation check. The Tabaxi lets you flip through the book pretty easily. It's public knowledge.
19.
19, yeah. It doesn't take too long for you to find... There's quite a lot of astrological books, which is interesting given how theological this society is. But the one that stands out the most to you is a book called The Celestial Tome. It is in B63.
All right, Janos will head to B63 to see if he can't find this.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it's not too hard to find. There's an oddly high number of copies of this book. More than were actually registered in the inventory. So someone's been buying without the library's permission. But you are easily able to find the book.
All right, so I'm going to presume that it's going to take a while to kind of leaf through this, but Janos is going to...
If you would like, you can check it out for later.
Actually, yeah, Janos is going to check out the Celestial Tome and the Ima book.
Are you going to show this to the Tabaxi? Because I would like to say the book was in B11, N11.
Oh, that's right, and 11 doesn't exist.
N11 does not exist.
Oh, well. Clearly the gods want me to have it. I'm gonna...
The gods.
I'm
of
gonna
the dice.
borrow it. Yes, I'm gonna borrow it for a little bit.
All right.
But I will check out the Celestial Tome.
Yeah, it's a really easy way. They just they kind of prick your finger a little bit and put your fingerprint onto the inventory on the name of the book.
I will offer my hand that didn't get covered in blood, if possible, just so that doesn't get mixed in and cause, like,
Yeah,
problems down the line.
definitely. It's not too hard. It doesn't even hurt that much. It's just like a pinprick. It's almost like your finger falls asleep for a second. But
Fantasy and aesthetics.
yeah, you're fine.
Cool. So yeah, he'll do that. He'll check that out. He'll probably swing by the mess hall because he's just remembered. He's like, wait a second, I didn't even eat at the tavern, and grab something really, really quick and small. Doesn't really care what it is, and he's going to sit down with that book and start.
There are French fries, there are wings, there's a sandwich, there's a taco. There's basically anything you want.
He'll grab probably like a sandwich that doesn't look too messy, and
Yeah.
and some like cloths and stuff so that he doesn't get it all over his books.
As you walk in, you also see this icy figure that you had seen take longer to step into the teleportation circle from before. They're in the far corner.
He's gonna note that person for now, but knowledge awaits. And sandwiches.
Yes, of course. Sandwiches. Would you like... as you walk in, you do see Beetle and Gothbolder. Gothbolder. You see them... Where would you guys have eaten? Would you have wanted to sit around near the elf? Or is there anywhere else you would like to sit?
Gothrolder's always kind of been kind of the a loner, in some senses, taking up nature more than anything. So if he was given the option, he would have rather sat outside.
Yeah, that's fine. So as you walk in, you kind of see Gothrolder just sitting there, basically sipping from a pint of honey.
Smart man. Or moth. You don't want to offend. Yanos is kind of like in a heightened sort of feverish state of right now, being that he also has that other tome on hand. So he's gonna kind of park himself somewhere and pull out the book and start to read. He's got to start burning through that energy.
Gothrolder, please give me a perception check. I'm gonna say with advantage.
Oh, okay. So perception.
For a second, I thought you said persuasion. Persuasion, perception.
Perception is +5.
Good becomes a mealtime victory.
Add that modifier in there. Apply roll. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, nice. You smell the scent of blood on Janos as they walk in. And it's much more potent than just because insects don't necessarily have blood. So when they see someone or something with blood, it's slightly unsettling, but you can get used to it.
Yeah,
This is
insects have hemolymph.
Yeah. This is a higher concentration of blood. There is clearly blood outside of this person's body where it should not be.
Janos,
I'm just gonna look up. Yes?
Are you alright? Are you bleeding?
Looks himself over. Looks to where his finger was pricked. Notices there's no blood there. No. I'm quite alright. Why do you ask?
I smell a very high concentration of blood. Are you sure you're not internally bleeding, or bleeding in any other part of your body?
Well, I don't feel especially cold in any places, or wet for that matter, and nobody stabbed me recently, so I don't think so.
Alright, I just want to make sure. Just for your knowledge, if you ever do get injured, I do have healing spells.
Some kind of priest?
I'm a druid.
Priest of the nature gods.
I suppose I'll let you be and let you eat your food.
The library here is quite expansive and interesting if you're interested in knowledge. I'm certain that they might have lore pertaining your own practices in there.
I may try to see if they have any of Sylvanus's guidance in there. Would be nice.
Yeah, so thank you for letting me know that I might be bleeding.
Yeah, and
Kind of nods to him and
And, when he walks away, he's gonna check on the blood book to make sure it's not leaking on everything.
the book is leaking a little bit, just a little bit.
I don't know why, but the interaction of you smell like you're bleeding to the library's pretty cool. It's just
Such a sudden, stark change.
right.
man, the library is awesome. So many interesting books.
I successfully deflected you away from my secrets. I'm a genius.
Yes.
I'm gonna take some of my spare clothes and wrap it around the book so that it doesn't ruin anything else.
Your poor clothes.
They're just clothes. I can get more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you walk in, you get a sandwich. Beetle, you also see them walk in um, as they sit down and start reading. Which book would you like to read?
I'm going to start with the Celestial Tome, being that
Yeah.
having like blood all over the place here might be a little conspicuous.
Yeah. The quick and short of it is basically the Celestial Tome maps out each deity's relationship to the celestial bodies. The three elder gods, the gods of creation, life, and, well, the god of creation, of life, the god of life, and the god of death. Those three gods are each represented by one of the moons of Telos, Zois. The sun, nobody is exactly sure which specific god it represents, as there are many gods of light and the sun. But the most popular is, of course, Helio. The second that would be the god of the sun is Cele. C-E-L-E. But currently they're more of a minor god. There are also plenty of other gods of distant, far-off stars, many of whom have relatively Grecian names. Others you see. In one particular page of the book, you see the material plane as it exists on a globe. Surrounding it are the three moons and its sun, and beyond that is a layer dubbed the Fane, which is further separated into the Feywild and the Shadowfell. And surrounding that are the Divine Plains, the Nine Hells, the River Styx, the Abyss, Mount Celestia, and more, of course. But you get the gist of it.
Yeah, the full cosmology.
Yeah.
Any mention of
Oh yes, you wanted to know about
the
an
eclipse?
Yes. There have been eclipses on... I immediately forgot what it's called. On
Sylvain's Eve.
Sylvain's Eve before. It often acts as herald for something cataclysmic. Whether it be within a year or in the next day is unsure. But it is clearly something that is caused, or at least is assumed to be caused by the Elder Gods, as the creation of this eclipse can only have been done by them.
You know, whisper under his breath, I knew it.
Which god creates this eclipse, however, changes its meaning. Let me find my god thingy. I have a web page of all of my gods.
Kel
Noose.
whispered something under his breath, and I can't remember what it was. I forgot to write it down.
It's okay. Noose. They are the elder god of the natural world and its manipulation. They are the youngest of the three elder gods, and as such, they are represented by the smallest of the moons in the night sky. If they create an eclipse, it is often in preparation, in warning for the natural world that something is going to happen. Most often it is a volcanic explosion, a tidal wave, something akin to that. If it is created by Lurael, the elder god of death and war, it often heralds some kind of war, mass killings, famine, and the like. And no eclipse has been made by Zur, the elder god of life and creation itself. No eclipses have been made by them so far, so the exact meaning of one that they would create is unknown. But they are the largest moon in the night sky. And this was a full eclipse. No ring of fire.
So it was an eclipse by the largest moon.
You can assume so, yes.
Janos is going to close the book and sit back. His sandwich forgotten.
Poor
And
sandwich.
he's gonna pack up. Yeah, my poor sandwich is gonna be left on the table, and he's gonna pack up his book, and is going to head, I guess, back to the library to go over a like a star map, a chart map, and whatnot, just to double check, like, with the revolutions of the moon and the sun and all those things and where they would be. And he's going to spend time just to make sure that that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So if that takes like the rest of the time, that's what he'd be spending his time with.
Yeah. Would Beetle be doing anything while they kind of see Janos enter and begin flipping through a book? A rather large book, for the record. And first of all, I'd like you to give me a perception check.
All right. That went on. Actually. Okay. What is my perception? Because that was another bad roll. Let's see.
I'm now realizing
8.
that both Gothrolder and Beetle both have connections with the moon, which is funny. And now Janos is looking at the moons, which is also funny. But yes, sorry. What did you get?
8.
8. Everything seems pretty normal.
Yes.
A lot of people are just going about their day eating. Some people are standing up and leaving. Among them are various armor-clad soldiers, including the Frost Elf.
All right. Right now, I'm probably. You said I was able to see, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but whoever, go to the library
Janos.
or reading a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna follow and, just kind of browse the library myself, and then, immediately when I see the star charts come up, I'm walking towards there.
Yeah, while that's all happening, is there anything, would Gothrolder like to follow along, or would you like to just sit outside?
Despite being a moon druid, I think he would just kind of, want to to sit within nature and
Yeah.
kind of pray to Sylvanas.
Oh, yeah. Would you like to give me a religion check with wisdom?
Yeah.
This will be your attempt at prayer, while the other two are walking off towards the library once more.
Religion with wisdom. I mean, it's +2 either way with intelligence or
Oh.
wisdom.
Okay.
I mean, either way is still fine, but... dirty 20?
Hey! Okay. You reach out to Sylvanas, and you feel a comforting breeze surround you.
Sylvanas is with me.
Would you like to say anything to them?
Just asking. Well, I wouldn't say asking, but just kind of a general prayer. Not really anything in specific, but
Yeah.
just kind of the thank you for being my guide through nature. More of a thank than it is a question.
Okay. As you thank them, you feel the wind begin to subside, and it is just a general feeling of extreme serenity and calmness that washes over you. And a stroke of wind almost tilts your head up towards the sky, which is now darkened to night, as it is finally Solvane, the day of the sun. Or rather, the night of the sun now.
Yes.
And you see the sun begin to crest over the horizon. And the forest off in the distance, its trees blow in the breeze. As the sun flickers and goes dark for but a moment, and it returns to normal and begins to rise again.
Beautiful. Lovely.
And with that, we will be going to Gothrolder and Janos in the library once more.
Beetle and Janos.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I think
you're
the fact that your name is Beetle is confusing me because Gothrolder is an actual insect. So saying it's throwing me off so much. It's gonna take me a while to get used to this.
That is just fine.
It's just so funny that one of you is an actual insect and another one is named Beetle. Regardless,
We have an unintentional bond.
yes. You guys go into the library. It doesn't take too long for Janos to find these star maps, as the Tabaxi quickly leads you towards this one specific section of the library where there are a wealth of scrolls and she pulls out this one very large map and rolls it out on the ground, and you see it's basically an enlarged form of that map that you saw before in the Celestial Tome.
All right, so he's gonna take his time plotting out essentially like the movement of the sun and the movement. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of eating, so I didn't want to
Oh,
be
it's
gross.
it's no worries.
The movement of the sun versus the trajectories of the three moons, and where their positions would be in relation to Icor at that time, based on like the astrological calendar and such.
Ooh, give me a nature check.
I think that's just straight intelligence
Yeah,
for my character, and that's a 16.
16, not bad. It's a little bit hard to track. This map was made a little while ago, but it seems to be actively moving according with the time of day. And you can see by tracing the lines that follow the moons and the sun. It was Zur who created the eclipse.
And with that, he's going to set down whatever calculation equipment is used on this world, like abacuses or any
Yeah.
other set
And
thing in it.
at this moment, I think Beetle would be walking up, seeing the map of stars.
Yeah, it would be splayed out. There would be whatever calculations written down or set up on a board, or
Yeah.
however it's set up, just like all over the place chaotically. And Janos would kind of slump back and steeple his fingers together and be sort of staring out at his results, kind of wide-eyed.
Beetle's just gonna walk up to I'm still figuring out character names.
Janos.
Janos, and he is just going to look at all this like very clear like scattered project, and he is going to look at him and go, "This is quite the project you're working on."
Janos is going to start a bit. Go, what? Oh, yes, yes, quite the project. You know what happened has never been recorded before. You know that, right? He looks at him, eyes wide.
And what might that be?
The eclipse on Solvain's Eve. This has never happened. Well, it's happened before, but not this way. You see here? You see what I see, don't you? You see here? He points to some of the lines that he's made. This particular pattern, this intersection of the sun and moon, this has never occurred on this particular date in the entire history of categorizing this.
Yes, the
It's obvious.
Now, I have a question for the DM.
Yes.
With again the lunar sorcery and
Yeah.
the astral ancestry, would this sound like not like crazy conspiracy theory stuff, or would this actually make sense?
Given the astral plane, depending on the campaign, the astral plane is like deeply connected with space. In this one, they are certainly linked. So, given that and your lunar sorcery, you would definitely know that sometimes sometimes people tend to interpret life based on the stars, based on the astral movements.
Mm-hmm.
So this wouldn't sound too far-fetched, and something certainly did feel off about yesterday.
I think that's exactly what I was thinking of that you just put in the Lost Continent thing.
I was thinking of actually describing it like that, but was like, I'll keep kind of more of a serious tone than Pepe Sylvia.
Right.
Pepe Sylvia. There is no Pepe Sylvia.
This
Uh,
world's being bled like a stuck pig.
um, but with that knowledge, Beetle will look at sort of the put on his newfound ally, and he he will say, "Well, your I don't want to say theory because he actually does believe in the possibility, but he says, well, your research is merited. But perhaps we should tell some of the other more magically inclined about, well, astrologically inclined, but the intellects of this group about your research."
Are you doubting my calculations?
No, I'm telling you that we should bring this to them to show that you've discovered it.
Oh, you believe me. Of course you believe me. Yes. Excellent. Yes.
Actively going insane.
No, this is good. This is good. I'm glad that you can see what I've discovered here because it heralds something unprecedented in the annals of history. Nods a bit. He looks like he could probably use a couple good nights sleep at this point. He's got like the bags under his eyes and his eyes are kind of bloodshot.
At this point, it is nearing dawn. The sun is beginning to rise in the far-off distance. So, you guys would easily be able to go to rest and discuss this with the captain tomorrow, with the general tomorrow.
Beetle is going to wrap an arm around Janos, like sort of patting his shoulder and be like, I'll tell you what, why don't I saw that there were some ingredients for some tea in the mess hall. Why don't we get you a nice warm cup of tea? You rest up, and then you can bring your research into some of the leaders of this potential war.
Yes. Yes, that is logical. It'll be easier to formulate my thoughts when I gather them together during the time of sleep.
And then he's going to walk him over to the mess hall like a dementia patient, basically.
Jesus.
My research, we can't leave without it.
Ah, yes, I'll gather that for you. And then
And make sure to check it out as well. I can't return it until everyone has seen.
The tabaxi pricks your finger really quickly and just put your finger right here. All right, you can go.
Is the tabaxi doing this to me or Janos?
To you, because Janos does not seem at all put together right now.
Yeah, I'll get my finger pricked.
Okay. And you all walk outside, or rather, Beetle and Janos walk outside. And at this same moment, Gothrolder is looking up at the sky once more, and the breeze the comforting breeze of Sylvanas suddenly leaves you as the sun, its orangey yellow glow, flickers into a purpley blue, an almost unnaturally bright, purpley white color, as if the sun has just aged 1,000,000,000 years in the fraction of a second. And that's where we're gonna end this session.
Oh,
Gotta love witnessing the heat death of the universe.
Oh, perfect.
yeah! Thank goodness for Revivify.
Yeah. Are you gonna revivify the sun?
Literally spends my whole like existence just to revivify the sun.
That would certainly
like I
be
got
something
you,
you
boy.
can try.
You
It is a spell.
use highest level wish you can.
Yeah, unfortunately at level 5 I cannot cast Wish.
Damn.
Yeah, strange.
wish you could.
Strange that wasn't. I was looking through the books and that wasn't an option for me either. I don't understand it.
You know, sometimes it's just like that. Well,
But if we get high enough levels, that's I'm gonna be using one of my slots for that. If we get that high.
yeah. I hope you all had a fun first session. Hopefully Ark will be able to make it to next session. They unfortunately are just getting back from being sick, which is why they could not make it. Riker will also obviously not be making it to the next session or any of the next sessions.
Good.
Slightly decapitated there.
Just a little bit. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed this first session of The Lost Continent of Telos.
Yeah, absolutely. That
Yeah,
was
this is-
that was pretty pretty awesome. You're a good GM.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent storytelling for sure.
I love this world. It is very fun to be able to tell another what is it called? A prequel. Because the Feywild campaigns are also prequels, which is really fun.
I was just trying to end my
Oh yeah, it's show. Yeah. I'm glad you guys had fun. I'm going to head off, and I will hopefully see you guys next week.
Yep.
Yeah,
See you then.
absolutely.
Heck yeah.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
See you guys.